Hello everybody, this is Goose Fox coming at you with a 450 cost rated match in the Gelgoog R. We're going to be on Colony Drop area for this round here, and the Gelgoog R is going to be our main banner suit for this week of GBO2, and I believe our last suit as part of the game's 8th anniversary. They kind of threw some curveballs at us with the last weeks of anniversary here, since the first weeks were the V2 Assault Buster, the Unicorn Perfectibility, and the God Aladdin, which are a lot of suits that do make sense for an anniversary setting, especially since you have the V2 and the God Aladdin that pair with each other. And I thought maybe they would release something else from Unicorn to kind of go with the Perfectibility, but no, our suits for the last couple weeks were the Mass Production Type Psycho Gundam from last week, and the Gelgoog R for this week. So some very interesting suits to throw in for the last weeks of anniversary here, and it gets even more interesting with the Gelgoog R, because even though the suit is the main banner for the week, it has a standard banner where it gives you a piece of a pilot uniform. This suit also has a special guaranteed step-up pool where it offers a level 1 through 4 variant, very similar to what they've done with banners like the Dozozaku and the Johnny Raiden Gelgoog. And this is the first time they're doing this for a banner suit. Usually when they do one of these banners with the level 1 through 4 variant, it's usually its own thing separate from the main banner, but this one being the banner suit of the week and having a guaranteed step up like this to go with it is very interesting. And it does have me curious to see what other mobile suits they might try to do this with, should the developers decide to use this style of release again in the future. Personally, I really like this because usually when you have a guaranteed step-up pool for the banner suit of the week, you usually have to do like 5 steps in order to get the suit on the last pool, so you are going to be spending 100 some tokens in order to get the suit guaranteed. But for something like the Gelgoog R here, you just have to do the first step and you get the native cost version of the suit for only 30 tokens. So it definitely is a lot cheaper than what they usually do with a guaranteed banner for the main suit of the week. And for maybe something more occasional, if they do have a suit that they want to release like some higher levels of, I think this could be a really cool thing to see, and yeah, I really do like this. So yeah, really just interesting to see that for the Gelgoog R here, this being the first suit that is a main banner to really implement this style of guaranteed banner to go along with it. And as for the Gelgoog R itself, it is a interesting mobile suit. I do have some things that I really want to talk about with this unit, but before I get into my thoughts on the Gelgoog R and if I think it is a suit that is worth pulling for, I do want to give a quick rundown of this suit and its highlight skills. If you want to see a more detailed breakdown of the Gelgoog R, I do have my testing video available on the channel for it. But to give some details about the Gelgoog R, this suit is a 450 cost general unit, and for your weapons, you have a beam rifle as your main range weapon. This can be fired either uncharged or charged, with both options giving you an instant stun, and if you charge it, you will get a piercing effect. For your main melee weapon, you do have a single cold blade. This has a pretty nice melee animation, and if you do the downswing, it does have the ability to hit the enemy twice. For your sub-weapons, you have a pair of head-mounted Vulcans. These have a really good ammo capacity and also really good stagger accumulation, and like most pair of Vulcans, you can use it while boosting. You have an anchor on the left arm, which is going to be that piece that looks very close to a shield, and in a way it does act like a pseudo-shield because you do have a buffer for that piece, so you do take reduced damage when that piece is hit, but that is able to launch out on a wire, and if it connects with the enemy, it will cause a heavy stagger. You have a dual pair of cold blades as a sub-weapon, and this has the same downswing animation as the Fleet Nock's own pair of dual cold blades. You have a throwable Cold Kunai, which only has 1 ammo, but it does cause a instant stun, it reloads fairly fast, and it does cause jamming if it connects to an enemy mobile suit. You have the ARM 110mm rapid-fire cannon on the right hand, which has a really good stagger accumulation, and you have the ARM 3-barrel Gatling cannon on the left arm, which has a very bad stagger accumulation, but compared to the ARM cannon and the head Vulcans, it does have a higher attack power, and it does fire in a 3-round burst, similar to the rapid cannon found on the Goof Flight unit from Thunderbolts. And to name some of the highlight skills here, you have Pursuit Prevention Attack Program, where if an enemy pursuit is stopped, attack power is temporarily boosted, while range weapon reload time and overheat recovery time are temporarily reduced. You have Counter Boost, where your mobile suit attack, defense, and mobility will increase temporarily after doing a counter, and less time is needed for range weapons to focus and melee weapons to charge. And you do have Damage Control Level 2, which reduces stagger when hit consecutively by attacks without suppressive effects. And you also have Maneuver Armor Level 1 as well. I'm bringing up Maneuver Armor and Damage Control for this suit because the biggest thing that the Gelgoog R lacks is a dodge roll, which is a detail I'll talk about a bit later here in a moment, but that is everything I wanted to bring up for the weapons and highlight skills of this suit. And to start going over the positives of the Gelgoog R, the suit does have a really nice kit going for it. You are definitely more of a melee-based general, and if you can land your full melee combo with the anchor and both of your cold blades, you can get some really nasty melee damage off that way, especially against raid units because you do have that type advantage. So for being a melee-based general, I think the suit can fill that role quite nicely. Your mid-range capabilities are also pretty decent because of the beam rifle and the various range weapons you do get with this suit, and you do have that anchor to cause a heavy stagger. Really, the only weapon I've found to be lackluster on this suit, at least from my experience playing it, is the 3-barrel Gatling cannon, mainly due to that weapon's lack of stagger accumulation and its slow rate of fire. But even then, I think that weapon can have some more niche uses when it comes to dealing damage, specifically if you're trying to finish off somebody from a distance, or if you're trying to do some damage to somebody who is knocked over, but you're not going to be able to go in to do your melee, either because you won't reach that enemy in time or there are allies nearby. I think the 3-barrel Gatling can be useful for that, but compared to the other weapons, I do think this one is the most lackluster, at least to me. But overall, with everything else that the kit has, I would say it is pretty good. And you have some nice skills too with Pursuit Prevention Attack Program and Counter Boost being able to further increase your damage if you can get those skills to activate. As for some cons for the Gelgoog R, I actually wouldn't say the lack of a dodge roll is one of them, because I think the suit can function quite well without it. I would say the biggest weakness is actually the leg durability on this suit, because you have some very fragile legs on the Gelgoog R. It is very easy for enemy suits to break them depending on what you are fighting against, so I would highly recommend putting some leg parts on for this suit if you either have it or are planning to get it. I haven't done a build yet that involves extra leg defense. That is something I do want to do in the future. But for some other cons, you are quite big being a Gelgoog model, so it can make it a bit risky if you are trying to rush in for melee. And something I've noticed is that for the Cold Canoe Eye, you only get one ammo with it, but you have 2 Canoe Eyes on the legs. That I would really like to see get changed to include both Canoe Eyes, like you can throw one and then have the other one ready up. I think that would be cool to have both of them instead of just having the one and giving it a quick reload. I think that would be a pretty nice change that they could do for this suit. But so far, that is really most of what I have noticed in terms of like downsides for the Gelgoog R. Aside from it is a very easy suit to gang up on if you catch it off guard, but yeah, and also if you try to catch it at long range as well, the suit doesn't have a whole lot of long range options to defend itself with, aside from maybe the beam rifle. But that is going to be timeout mission over. Let's see how we did with this round here. And third place with 4 kills and 4 loss. Did get second in individual, so not too bad of a round there with the Gelgoog R. And that is going to be everything that I have for this match here. To wrap up on if I think the Gelgoog R is worth pulling for, I think that heavily depends on the player. If you really like melee-based generals, and if you're fine playing a suit that doesn't have a dodge roll, then I would say it is definitely worth getting from the first step of the guaranteed pool to get the native cost version. But if not, I would say you are better off skipping on it, especially since it does have a level 1 through 4 in the supply pool, so there is a chance that you could always get this suit in a future pool. As for where I stand on the Gelgoog R personally, I'm currently kind of mixed about it, and that's mainly due to the quality of the matches I have gotten with it. I have gotten some decent matches with it, like the one I showed in this video, but also some matches that went rather poorly, so I do want to try some other builds with this suit and maybe see if I can get some different results out of it. But even with those mixed feelings, I still feel like the Gelgoog R can do pretty good. And again, I think a big part of it really comes down to player preference more than anything, if you think it is something that you want to pull for or not. But that is going to be everything I have for this video here. Comment down below what you think about the Gelgoog R. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Later.